Hello everyone, welcome to Studious IELTS. My name is Surinder Chaudhary and my today's workshop is about IELTS Writing Academic Task 1, and in this I am going to cover this particular type of question, that is table chart. So a number of times you will encounter table chart in your question of writing, and how does it appear? Let's have a look on it. Okay, so this is a table carrying different kinds of data, and in this data we are asked to make a good summary. And what this data is about, it has been mentioned in the title of the table, as well as it has been also mentioned in your question prompt. So before going to the data, let's have a look what is it about, right? It is about how patients evaluated health center services. So we have been mentioned three health centers, and in that we have been told that patients evaluated them, patients rated those centers on the scale of 10, and here is the data that how much ratings each of these got. Next, they have also bifurcated their services which has been rated by the patients into 5 different categories, and finally there is an average of it at the end of the table. So this is entire information that we are supposed to summarize in our report, because our question prompt is very clear about it, that you have to give main aspects, you have to summarize main aspects of the data given, as well as you also have to make some comparisons if there are any. Definitely if such kind of data is in front of you, there is a certain comparison, because in this you can see one center is getting different kind of rating and other one is having different kind of rating. So comparisons are on the table. You can definitely do that when you are writing your report. Okay, so let's start with our workshop, and in this workshop we will go step by step that how to divide this data into different paragraphs first, because before writing, planning is absolutely important. And planning about this question is that we are going to divide it into 4 different paragraphs. First will be our introduction of the question, then there will be an overview, because it is a report, so definitely we have to mark an overview before explaining the data. It is an abstract of this report, right? Further, I will divide the entire description of the data into 2 different paragraphs, body paragraph 1 as well as body paragraph 2. So let's see how do we do that. We will start with the introduction first. So in introduction, what do we have to include? First thing first, whenever you are starting your introduction of a writing task 1, I would recommend you to go with the paraphrasing of the thesis, or you can also call it the prompt of the question. So if you do that, your introduction is going to be very impressive, but please make sure that you are supposed to paraphrase it so that it can showcase your range of vocabulary, as well as you can also change the structure of the sentences. If the question is given into simple sentence, you can make it a complex sentence. This is also going to set a good impression on the examiner that you are starting it really well. So how do I do this? It says the table presents data regarding the evaluation of services provided by Longstone Center, Peverell Center and Marchbank centers, right, as assessed by patients. So definitely this is how I have paraphrased it. All keywords have been included in it. First of all, it is about the assessment ratings provided by the patients, and it is the assessment of different services that has been provided by these 3 centers to the people. So everything from the question has been covered in this paraphrased part. One thing you can add here, that if we are making a comparison, if we are looking different kinds of data, is there any fluctuation in it? Is it similar kind of data? Something you can certainly add to your introduction like this. So it says a significant disparity in the ratings can be easily witnessed. Obviously, if you have a good look on this, there is a disparity. For example, if we talk about the first service, that is booking appointments, there is a rating of 5.2 in Longstone Center, but it is 9.1 at Peverell Center. So there is a good disparity which we can talk about in our report writing. Okay, after the introduction, we should move to our next segment, that is overview of your report. So overview, sometimes we have to generate that. We have to understand that what is the most significant part, or what is the highest rated, or which kind of segment is carrying the maximum data in the picture, and which one is having the lowest ratings and all, right? So sometimes we have to generate those main features which we are supposed to talk about in overview, but sometimes it is also made very easy by the image, like here. If you see that overview requires the main things, the major aspects, and here they have made your job extremely easy by giving an overall average of those ratings. So we are going to take a benefit of this particular thing, because here it is also important to play smart, that if you are constructing something, where are you picking your data? So let's see how do we do that. Okay, from an overall perspective, according to the provided illustration, the Peveril Center received the most favorable evaluations compared to the Longstone Center, which received lower assessments from patients across various service aspects. So what do we have to do in an overview when there is a data? We just have to talk about the highest one, we have to talk about the lowest one, or sometimes we have to talk about the trends, that if this is a progression, because here it is not progression. Sometimes, for example, in line chart, right? In line chart, there is a progression, and in the case of progression, we don't have to, describe everything in overview, but we have to talk about the fluctuations. So here, it is very easy for you. You just have to pick the things from an overall average that has been given at the end, and you have to describe it like this. You have to tell that which center got the highest rating. This is in front of you, 8.3 by Peveril Center, and which one got the lowest one? It is 5.8 by Longstone Center. You just have to make a comparison between these two here in your overview, and the job done. So this is how you will have to be very careful when you are writing an overview, and very smart as well. So in this case, it is a smart move to pick things from here. Now we are going to go into description, into body paragraphs. How we do that? Okay, in body paragraph 1, we are going to pick two centers. Obviously, divisions are absolutely important. If three are there, we have to pick two of these. Which two are going to be picked here? Let's have a look. Okay, first of all, in the context of Longstone Center, it received ratings above 6 for doctor service and care of children services, while the other three services were deemed less satisfactory by patients scoring around 5. So this is a crux of everything. How do we do that? In this case, we told that in Longstone, which one were the higher? Doctor service, which was 8, and care for children, which was 6.3. So we have given the main feature here, and the main feature is that both segments are rated above 6, which we covered in the first part of our sentence, or the first clause of our complex sentence that we have used here. I hope you already know what complex sentences are. If you don't, you can watch videos related to different types of sentences used in IELTS writing, because this is absolutely important to get your marks in GRA, grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, what is there in the second part, second clause? Second clause contains those categories which got less than 6 in the ratings, or we can also say which got ratings around 5. And all these services have been mentioned here. You don't have to talk about all those services every time. Remaining 6 we talked about here, and remaining 6 is obviously being covered by these three, which are getting 4.3, 5.1 and 5.2. So these have been covered in this category. Moving to the next one, that is Marchbank Center, which scored over 7 for booking appointments, doctor services and care for children. You can see, if we talk about Marchbank Center, here we can pick a good category of above 7 ratings that was available in booking appointments, doctor's service as well as care for children. That's in front of you. But there are two which got lesser than that. But every time you don't have to use this structure that there were two different categories which got around this number. Here you will have to showcase your variety. And if you are doing that specifically in task 1, please learn how to make things in an order, because orderly sentences are rated differently. If you are able to put that together in the right sequence, it is going to get you additional credit for your writing. Like this: while the pharmacy and response to concerns received ratings of 5.8 and 6.5 in an order. So sometimes we write respectively here, and sometimes we write in an order here. How do we do that? In this case, you have to mention the categories first and then their ratios in the same sequence, and at the end you can justify that bifurcation by saying that this data has been put in an order. So this kind of sentence specifically is going to give you very much benefit if you are writing it in your task 1. Please make sure and practice your writings in such a sequence, in such a structure, so that you can get good scores. Okay, let's conclude it by taking the third category or third center, health center, that has been mentioned here, which is rated the highest among all. And how do we describe it? Regarding the Peveril Center, it received scores exceeding 8 for booking appointment, doctor service, and response to concerns services. In this way, you can see which one the highest ones have been included here in this category, and the highest ones got the scores above 8. Okay. However, the care for children and pharmacy services fell short of that mark. It was not up to this. And if it was not up to this, what was the actual ratings? Let's talk about that. Receiving ratings of just 7.5 and 6.3 respectively. The same thing that I talked about in the previous paragraph. Here, the same structure has been once again used, but with a different word. So even if you are providing such kind of variety, it is also going to help you a lot to make your writing quite good, the writing which is having good range of your vocabulary as well as the sentence structures. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to talk about table charts. This is how we make good comparisons in it. This is how we pick major points which are associated with the table itself, and these are the things we are to report in a summarized form. So this is task 1, and before I finish, let's have a look on the final version of our answer that is right in front of you. You can clearly see that how we put the introduction, then there is an overview, then there is body paragraph 1, and finally there is body paragraph 2. And our report for our question that is related to task 1 is ready here. Take a screenshot of it and refer to it when you are practicing your task 1. All right, that's all from this workshop. And if you are interested to know more about such workshops or to know more about IELTS, you can contact us on the details given on your screen. Apart from that, if you are interested to get some visa counseling, you can also have uh, contact with us on this number. Thank you so much.